It's Monchhichi, girl doll, boy doll.
Monchhichi, Monchhichi, oh so soft and cuddly. With her thumb in her mouth, she's really neat. Fun to wiggle his little feet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey doll people, did you know that Monchhichi are still in production, not hard to find, and you can still get them at retailers? Let's talk about it. So our furry little monkey babies were created by Yashiharu Washino in 1974. Mattel got the license to produce them in America in about 1980, and then of course it was discontinued with Mattel in about 85. The current company and reigning company is Sakaguchi. It's a doll company in Japan, and they're still created. Look how sweet this baby is. Monchhichi come in an array of different sizes and colors and designs, and they're just as big a deal as, say, Hello Kitty or all of the Sanrio characters around the world. People celebrate them. I'm not the only enthusiast with them. They don't seem to get enough attention here in America, but in Japan, there's definitely something to note. So America and Japan aren't the only countries where Monchhichi did really well. They actually did extremely well in Germany, Spain, and Austria, just to name a few. They did so well that they actually created anime series, like a few anime series. Because they were famous in different places around the world, they also have different names from different countries around the world. And one of my favorite names that they're also called in the UK, they're known by Chickaboo. Isn't that cute? Chickaboo, that's so fucking adorable. I am going to take you on a tiny little journey and show you the Monchhichi that I have in my collection. Okay, so I'm just here in my kitchen window watching the snow melt, and okay, I heard it. I know that sounds weird. I wanted to give a brief little history on how I got into Monchhichi. So a few years back, it was my husband and I's anniversary, I believe it was, and we went out to dinner at the BBQs on 2nd Ave in Manhattan. And one of my favorite places to go is actually Toy Tokyo, and it's on 2nd Ave. So my husband, being a gentleman and a sweetheart, he was like, hey, why don't we go over to Toy Tokyo and find you an anniversary gift? And of course I was like, yes, pay for the bill, let's go now. And that's what we did. So we walked down to Toy Tokyo, wandering around in there, trying to figure out what exactly I want, because Toy Tokyo has a very extensive shopping list. Like, they have so many figures and so many just things imported from Japan. They've had Blythes, they've had pull-ups, a lot of the time they've had pull-ups, they've had Obitsus. I mean, I've found so many treasures in Toy Tokyo over the years, which is why I tend to frequent whenever I go to the city. I had no idea exactly what I wanted. So I was just roaming around the store, and then I saw this little kid. He's so cute. And I'd seen Monchhichi around everywhere, really. Like, Monchhichi, like I've said before, is a big deal. Big deal. And I've seen them around very much like I've seen American Girl around before I got into the brand. And they've both been owned by Mattel at one point. So I'd seen Monchhichi around, and I've always thought that they were really cute. I equated them to like Hello Kitty and pretty much any other Sanrio character. But I never actually thought to pick one up. And it probably was just because I've never really coined myself as a huge plush doll collector. So when I saw this one, for some reason, it was like, buy me. I need to go home with you. And so that's what we did. And I remember taking this little kid out of their little tube that they came in, and I was just like, I need more. I need more. I need more. And that's actually what led me down my little rabbit hole, finding out more about Monchhichi and acquiring a hell of a lot more. Like, I've got so many Monchhichi, it's actually quite embarrassing. Like, they're everywhere. Like, they're stuffed everywhere. That was how I got into Monchhichi. Yes, and it's been history ever since. Okay, so this here is a standard size current edition Monchhichi. He's currently wearing a vintage pair of overalls that I found on the secondhand market. They all still have their little, I'm assuming, pacifier. It's not their thumb, it's a pacifier. Their sweet little face. Very, very soft fur. Now this one right here is a boy. So this is a current edition boy, and then this is a current edition girl. The girls are identified by their tuft of hair and their bow. Again, the same features really. The only real difference between the boy and the girl is just the little tuft of hair up there at the top. Now, just as a quick comparison, this is a vintage S-size Monchhichi. The boys and the girls again were differentiated between their little tuft of hair and a bow. Somebody asked me in the past, how do you spot a fake? Because there are fake vintage Monchhichis, and here, let me get close. Kind of hard to see, but on the left side cheek, there's always going to be 5 freckles, and then over here there's going to be 4, and then 3 in the direct middle. All official Monchhichis, both vintage and current, have that. That's one of the ways to spot a Monchhichi. And if you can't figure it out, because there are some pretty convincing fakes out there, always check their tag. Their tag will tell you where they're from, and it'll say Sakaguchi on the tag. So always check their tag. All Monchhichis have their tags, and on the S-size one, they're right here in the middle of their back. Also, a vintage Monchhichi will have blue eyes, whereas a current will have brown eyes. The S-size Monchhichis measure about 8 inches from the top of their head to the bottom of their feet, and that goes for both the current edition and the vintage edition dolls. This is an S-size Monchhichi, and these tiny little ones right here, these are keychains. I've taken the there's a little loop here that actually connects the bits that would make it a keychain. I've just taken it off, and I use the keychains for my dolls that want to collect Monchhichi. And that's how small they are compared to a regular size or S-sized Monchhichi. There's also a Monchhichi that you can find with 2 pigtails like this and a pink dress, and it includes this tiny one, and this one is just ever so slightly smaller than the keychain. Yeah, so wanted to include those just for size comparison, just to complete the narrative. This lovely baby is an M-size vintage Monchhichi. I actually don't have any current edition M-size Monchhichi. But I do have this guy, and I actually found him on the secondhand market for a really decent price. I don't think I paid more than $15 for him. And he was still in box from Japan. And you can see that he still got his lovely blue eyes. Let's look at him. He's so cute. The M-size Monchhichis, they're sucking their thumb, which I think is really adorable, honestly. Oh, he's in such good condition. I do prefer the vintage Monchhichis. They seem to be slightly chubbier, if you will. His fur is in really, really good condition considering his age. And yeah, he was still in box, and of course I had to debox him. Let's get a cute little comparison. Okay, so that's him. And then this right here, the small guy there, is a standard edition, current edition Monchhichi. You see how much bigger the M size has gotten compared to the S size? Very sweet, honestly, because now he looks like a big brother to this one, and I think that's adorable. Yes. I would say the M-size Monchhichis will run you anywhere between $40 to $50. It can be expensive because they are bigger, but it's definitely worth it. This lovely girl is a current edition L-sized Monchhichi. She is a girl. She has the 2 tufts of hair with her 2 bows on the top of her head. Alright, so that's the M size next to her. See how much bigger she is? She's so sweet. She's about the size of an 18-inch doll, so I'm going to pop an 18-inch doll in there. See? Yeah. Let me show you the vintage L-size dolls. Let's move her. Okay, so these lovely babies, this would be the vintage boy, and then this is the vintage girl. You can tell them apart by the girl having a little bow on the top of her head. Otherwise, they're essentially the same. These dolls are older, and they've had to be rehabilitated by me. I've restuffed this guy, and when she came to me, she needed a serious brushing because they get matted over the years. But after you care for them, they end up being really cute. And then this very large sweetheart would be my 2L size Monchhichi. Mine here would technically be a girl because of the bow here, but mine feels like a boy to me. I mean, boys could have bows and tufts of hair too, right? This one right here is probably going to be your most expensive chi that I would recommend purchasing at a higher price. So far, I don't think there are any fakes, but there are vintage versions of the 2L dolls. I unfortunately do not have one. This is my only one that's in this size for now. Okay, let's get a comparison in there. So this is another current. This one's another girl. I figured it'd be fitting. She's got her little bow up there. And this is the aforementioned L size next to the 2L size, my big 80 centimeter baby. Wasn't that fun? I really enjoyed making this video. It wasn't a request from anybody. I just wanted to remake a Monchhichi video that was a little bit more informative, better shot, better edited, something that's current, because that last video I'm taking down. Sorry, you got like a day to go watch it if you want to see it. But if you guys have any recommendations for the channel, a new video, a new doll, send me a DM on Instagram at JoshyBearHuggies or leave me a comment in the description. know, a comment in the comments section. But if you do have a recommendation for a video, something you would like to see me do, just leave me a comment in the comment section below, and maybe it might happen. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, babies.